So this is the first time I'm doing this for you, and I'm gonna be trying to do this on a weekly basis. Obviously, when I get a bit busy, I may not be able to do this, and yeah, but let's see how it goes. So I'm gonna be forecasting what I think the Emini S&P will do this week, and generally before I come to the charts, I usually like to, just take a look at what the economic calendar for the week is saying, and I would usually filter this by just the US dollar and medium and high impact news drivers. And as you may already be aware, this is an NFP week, and the protocol for NFP, we aim to be done with trading by Wednesday of the week. Usually does very choppy price action the day before the NFP, so I will probably be sidelined after Wednesday. I would still look at the market, just to see what it's doing, but unlikely that I'll be taking any trades after Wednesday. So aside the NFP, obviously we also have the federal funds rate, which is going to be a really important one for this week. And also, what I like to do is I like to come here and just do a quick search for what to watch this week. And usually you would see something from investing.com, top five things to watch in the markets in the week ahead. And Fed continue to slow the pace of rate hikes in the face of cooling inflation or stick to its guns. So generally, most people are expecting a 25 basis point rate hike, and how it would work is if we hike the rates, stock market goes down. That's how it typically would work. So this is going to be a really key one. This takes place on Wednesday. Yeah, on Wednesday at 2 p.m. my time, which will probably um, be 9 a.m. Eastern, I believe. Yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So before I even come to the charts, I would look at the economic calendar. I would look at what the top five things for the week are. Uh, this is the most interesting thing to me. Obviously, there are some other things happening during the week. We've got earnings season as well. Amazon, Alphabet, three of the four largest U.S. companies are reporting earnings on Thursday. So that's also going to be key thing to watch on Thursday. We would likely see a lot of volatility if these big companies are reporting earnings on Thursday. And yeah, nothing too exciting for me here. Um, yeah, so rate hike of 50 basis points, 3%. Okay, yeah, this is all about the decision of the Fed on the interest rates. That's the big thing this week, and that's the key thing I'm going to be watching. And that happens on Wednesday. Yeah, that happens on Wednesday. Generally, for something like the Fed funds rate, I would wait for the news driver to hit the market before I engage. But let's see how it goes. And yeah, that's pretty much what I would do as far as the fundamentals are concerned. Jumping into the charts, um, start usually start my analysis on the weekly time frame. And what's very obvious to me is we've sort of stayed within this range from this high to this low. If you notice, we had some relative equal highs here, and we took that out. We have side liquidity here, it's taken aggressively, and then we also had sell side here, taken aggressively as well. So from this high to this low, that's my dealing range. That's the range I'm interested in on the weekly time frame. Um, and after we took our buy side here and took our sell side here, we rallied into a premium, came back down into a discount, and now it seems like we're rallying once again. Uh, so what do I see on the weekly time frame? I see these two relative equal highs. What's going to be rest of that buy stops? Also, we have this volume imbalance here. If we get above the buy side liquidity, the next thing in my line of sight would be this volume imbalance here. Also, you see that we've just created this order block from last week. So it'll be interesting for me to see what price does when it gets back down there. Uh, if indeed it does retrace down there, I'll just be watching on a lower time frame to see if we get any kind of reaction from here. Yeah, beyond that, I don't really see too much on the weekly. Like I said, we've just stayed within this range. This low was formed on Monday, 10th October. This high was formed on Monday, the 15th August 2022, and we've stayed within, right? So took our buy side, came down, came back up into the consequent encroachment of this imbalance here. Then we tanked, took our sell side here, rallied, left this high, came back down, rallied one more time, and we just formed this order block. So let's jump down to the daily time frame and see what it looks like. So just 1 second, go back to the weekly, make sure we can see this on the daily time frame. Daily, awesome. So those are the relative equal highs from the weekly and the imbalance from the weekly as well. So I just uploaded a video on balance price ranges. If you've not checked it out, I highly recommend that you check it out. There was a really nice trade here that I discussed in that video, so make sure to check it out, and it will be of great help to you if you don't know what it already is. So we've got the weekly order block here. Let me just change the color so that we know that this is from the weekly time frame. Awesome. So this is the weekly order block here. It came down, tapped into the fair value gap, which overlaps with this fair value gap, making this a price window. Price hits it, and this becomes a balanced price range. We reject hard. This happened after we had a shift in market structure here. Shift in market structure here. Left behind an imbalance after the shift in market structure. Price came down, tapped the imbalance, rallied again, left behind another imbalance. Price came down, tapped the price window. We rejected hard. Where do we stop? We stop right here. This volume imbalance here. And price respects it beautifully. Beautifully. Okay. So the candle for week has just started. Just while this video is being recorded, you can see that we have a new candle forming in real time. So for now, the only thing that's interesting for me are these two highs. I'm curious to see if price has the ability to go above it. If it does, the next thing in the line of sight will likely be the volume imbalance that we have up here. Um, what I also see when I look closely is another fair value gap from last week. We have one here. So I'd be interested to see If price decides to come down into this fair value gap, um, interested to see what happens on the lower time frame if we get some kind of reaction, and if there's a long entry opportunity there. But yeah, that's about it. There's nothing much else I see. Mondays are usually days that can be slow. Like generally, we don't have any news drivers on Mondays, and so typically Mondays are not. You don't typically see a lot of volatility there. But again, we're an earnings season, so we don't need a high or medium impact news driver to see volatility on Monday. If the stocks that are reporting earnings on Monday um, out, we will see movement in the S&P. So that's it for me. There's not much else that I see here. It's pretty much on the weekly time frame. I try not to go too low in the time frames when I'm doing my weekly forecasting, my weekly analysis, because it's more for me to understand the key levels I should be paying attention to for the week and get a sense of if there's any obvious liquidity I should be paying attention to, right? So for me now, at this point in time, we've got buy side resting above here. We've got the volume imbalance right there. Um, yeah, sometimes as well, what I would do is I'd mark out the previous week's high and the previous week's low because they do tend to act as draws on liquidity. So here, this is your previous week's low. And just to see if price gets through this order block and we sweep the weekly low, if we would get a reversal to the upside, that needs to be seen. But yeah, I don't always pay too much attention to that. It's just something I like to keep in mind. I usually don't even have it annotated on my chart. I just have it mentally in my mind that week's low there, just to see what price would do if it does indeed get below the previous week's low or the previous week's high. And yeah, that's it for me. I will update you guys in the Discord if I see anything folding in the course of the week. But just to recap, I would typically start by looking at the fundamentals just to see what the news drivers for the week are. I always like to read this. This is a very quick way of getting a sense of what to expect for the week on investing.com. They publish this every weekend on Sundays. Top 5 things to watch in the markets in the week ahead. And then I would check the economic calendar for the week. And like I mentioned, it's an NFP week. So usually you'd want to be done with trading by Wednesday, because Thursday can be quite tricky, and then obviously you do not want to be trading on the NFP Friday itself. Yeah. So that's it for me, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.